I thoroughly enjoy coming back from a really nice weekend, you know, re-energizing and everything, spending time with really good people that bring you to a great place. I've had a lot of revelations, realizations, openings this weekend, and I wanted to be present during the weekend, so I didn't really, do a whole lot of, I wrote it down on my phone and everything, but I remember when I read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle and how much it changed my life. And even in that time in my life when I was still experiencing a lot of, identification with thoughts, addiction to negative thinking, things like anxiety and even depression. And something that really stuck out to me regarding that teaching was the thing that stops us from moving forward a lot of the times is, it's like we're addicted to, I know this sounds wild, but it's true because we're not aware of it. We're addicted to negativity. We're addicted to negative thinking. We get ourselves really involved in things like drama and, other people's lives and what's going on, when in reality it really doesn't matter. All that matters is right now and kind of creating a clean slate in our minds to create instead of recreate, because we do a lot of recycling. But what really stuck out to me about The Power of Now is how he talked about, if we want to transcend these things like anxiety and depression, I really don't like calling them things, actually. I like calling them experiences, rather, because they're more so experience-based than anything. I don't like to call them something that we have, potentially. I like to call them an experience because it is the result of unresolved, recycled matters in our lives. And so, if what we can do instead is accept the thoughts as thoughts, we don't have to accept them as reality, but instead accept them as thoughts, as existing as thoughts. And then what happens is then, because of course, you don't have to accept them as reality. They're not reality. Reality exists beyond thought. Accept them as thoughts, and then you're able to be the awareness behind those thoughts instead of identifying with them as your thoughts, because they're really not your thoughts. They're coming from an unconscious collective that we're divinely connected to. And from there, what we can then do is not only be the awareness, but separate ourselves from those thoughts. And because these thoughts have the ability to result in things like anxiety and depression, we can be aware of that separation and not recreate it in our lives as the experience of things like anxiety and depression. Because I remember when I was very much addicted to negative thinking and addicted to thinking itself, I used to think that I was literally the smartest person in the world because of how much I thought. But I'm grateful that I thought a lot, because thinking, overthinking, compulsive thinking, all this stuff, it helped me come to where I am now in terms of awakening and realizing this separation and moving beyond it. And there's a clean slate that I think everybody deserves to live with, because, we look at, homeless people or, crazy people that talk to themselves, and we think, wow, these people are legitimately crazy. They're talking to themselves and everything. And what's interesting about that judgment is that, those of us who are unconscious of the thoughts in our minds, the incessant noise, we're no different. We're pretty much having the same dialogue. It's just in our heads instead of out loud. So a nice practice is to just, accept the thoughts that come in as thoughts. You don't have to accept them as reality, because none of this stuff is reality. Like I said before, reality exists beyond thought. So accepting this stuff as thoughts, accept them as thoughts. And then realize that they're not reality. And once you accept them, they no longer have power. They no longer have control. When you say, I accept, that's when you take control. Like I said before, you don't have to accept them as reality, because they're not a reality. There's no such thing as perceptive reality. There's no such thing as thought-based reality. Reality exists beyond thought, a dimension, a plane beyond thought. And so what happens is there's no resistance, because what happens is when we resist, we are stuck with it. If you fight it, you're stuck with it. It's as simple as that. But yeah, I thought it'd be interesting to talk about this, because it's really helped me a lot, and I think that it's something that could help everyone else as well. Because a lot of people aren't really aware of this matter of acceptance and how powerful it is. And it's helped me a lot in my life, and I'm still transforming. I'm grateful to have gone through these revelations and stuff, these things I can share with you guys, and, maybe things you could share with me. Leave a comment down below, and I'd love to hear from you. So yeah, accept them as thoughts, not reality, because thoughts don't equal reality. Reality is beyond thought. And practice the discipline of acceptance. Literally consciously say to yourself, I accept this. Not as reality, but as a thought. And then you can allow yourself to be the observer and the awareness behind the thought, rather than the thought itself. Disidentify.